Season 5 of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days is airing this month and spawning some new superstars for the show before their 90 days have even started. But even with the show's long history of controversial and high-profile figures, there is no one more iconic than Anfisa Arkhipchenko. Anfisa and her tumultuous relationship with Jorge garnered so much attention for the show in Season 4 that fans are still discussing her most quotable moments and debating the ethics of her time on the show. These are some of her most notorious actions and talked about moments. While this moment isn't that bad, when someone mentions Anfisa, this is the scene that likely comes to almost everyone's mind. This seemingly unnecessary outburst over her red bag with her makeup from the passenger seat of Jorge's car is far from the rudest thing Anfisa ever said to him, but it might be her funniest quote. It also perfectly represents the rapid changes in mood that she has around Jorge for seemingly no reason. This level of unpredictable rage is what made her one of the most interesting and talked about characters in 90 Days history. Anfisa does and says a lot of mean things to Jorge across the couple's entire season. While she does call Jorge stupid often behind the scenes, the time that most people remember is their phone call after she makes him sleep in the garage. Anfisa declares that you can't fix stupid as a response to her and Jorge's constant fighting about money, Jorge's family and pretty much anything else that comes up. Even given how often Anfisa speaks her mind, it is still surprising to hear her saying something so blunt and rude to Jorge on camera. Viewers saw fans Anfisa repeatedly resetting and disabling Jorge's phones, which should be a major red flag in any relationship. But it got even wilder when fans learned that, behind the scenes, Anfisa had been actively breaking or destroying Jorge's phones to keep him out of contact with his family members. Related, 10 common criticisms of 90 Day Fiancé. Anfisa clearly felt threatened by Jorge's family who repeatedly told him that she was no good, and so she decided to take it out on his phones in an attempt to cut off, or at least delay, contact. Many fans cite this as one of the most nefarious things Anfisa ever did during her time on the show. One of the first times viewers really got to experience Anfisa and Jorge as one of the show's worst couples was when Anfisa decided to cancel her plane ticket from Russia to the US at the last minute because Jorge refused to buy her the things she wanted. While she did eventually make her way to America, it was the first of many times across Season 4 that she made some questionable decisions as soon as she didn't get exactly what she wanted. When it came time for some of the show's couples to interact with each other, after the show, it became apparent that Jorge wasn't the only person who clashed with Anfisa's brutal honesty. Anfisa had an argument with fellow star, Paula, which resulted in them both leaving the set, making for one of the most awkward moments in the show's history. While the conversations that happen after the show has been filmed can get very awkward and angry in a hurry, this was one of the show's can't-miss moments. The most furious fans ever see Anfisa get during Season 4 is during a climactic fight she has with Jorge over the phone when she finds that he has left to talk to his lawyer without her. She demands that he come back immediately and repeatedly calls him a liar in an intense rant that echoes out of Jorge's phone and throughout a parking lot. Related, the 10 most difficult family members on 90 Day Fiancé. Hearing her angrily screaming is in stark contrast to her normally expressionless attacks and is seen by many fans as her scariest moment. This was another instance involving Jorge's lawyer, but this time it was in person. When Jorge and Anfisa tried to make important financial decisions regarding their marriage, a fight broke out, as it normally does. But this time, instead of just hurling insults back and forth, Anfisa freaked out, had a tantrum and, worst of all, struck Jorge, right in front of everyone. Everyone involved was so surprised that they didn't really know what to do, but Jorge and Anfisa managed to handle it in the categorically awkward way they seemingly always do. One of the issues that Jorge and Anfisa fight about the most is money, and some of the specific fights they had involved Anfisa wanting to buy an expensive wedding dress and ring. But just when it seemed like they were finally nearing a compromise on the ring, Anfisa blew up at Jorge, mentioning that he'd only be willing to spend $45,000 on a ring. Related, 90 Day Fiancé's 10 funniest characters. Anfisa had her eyes on a much more extravagant $300,000 ring and her heart was absolutely set on getting it. With the benefit of retrospection, the audience now knows that Jorge was nowhere close to being able to afford the ring, but Anfisa fully believed he was very wealthy. His continuous refusal to spend money on her clearly angered her and reached a boiling point with the ring. While this isn't one of the most terrible things Anfisa ever did, and by this point in the season it didn't really surprise anyone, the sheer audacity of kicking Jorge out of his own apartment that he pays for was unbelievable. Fans had to watch in utter disbelief as Jorge slept in the garage rather than his actual apartment, all just to try and please Anfisa. Maybe he just needed a break from their constant fighting, but it still made for one of the most surprising and memorable moments in the entire history of the series. Anfisa is known for her shocking behavior on 90 Day Fiancé, But if there's one moment that stands out other than her makeup bag incident, it's when she keyed the word idiot into the side of Jorge's car. This awful moment demonstrated her almost comedic bluntness, brash actions and constant attacking of Jorge to create an iconic and embarrassing scene that only Anfisa could have pulled off.